Oh my god! Here we are. It is inside the PFL. I'm your former champion, Ozubador Joe. Joined as I am, not ever always, by special correspondent Mike.
Yeah, I'm here sometimes. I do it every now and again. That's me. We're here.
Mike, you had the week off and you asked me to come in on Inside the PFL, so you better be bringing all your salt, my man.
Oh, man. It's... Oh, the dog's gone. No, I'm salty at myself. We get that. I'm mad. Shit this week.
Try talking to the microphone on your phone, because it sounds like you're underwater.
Sorry, no, I'm trying to move away from the dog barking. People are walking by and this dog is going nuts, but she's okay. She's okay. The salt's for myself. I'm salty. I'm a salty boy.
All right.
It was a week, that's for sure.
Well, thank you for being on with us here, and we can just jump right into it. You can save the salt for your match, which thankfully is a little ways away. But starting things off, let's go ahead and go right over... Woo! Oh, the wrong things are highlighted. Let's go ahead and turn them away. Back to Kyle and M1, the first match that happened this weekend here. First thing with M1 and Kyle, a lot of plays where I think that M1 playing just a little bit too fast and loose. The big thing I could put a pin in with that is, so you got Salazzle, who just kind of stays in on an Earthquake from Gligar.
Also, we've seen him bring knockoff on said Salazzle. Why wasn't it there this time?
Well, he didn't necessarily get a chance. I'm guessing he thought he could kill with where he was. Dave is in the chat. Hello, Dave. Your match is last, so you're going to be here for a while. I mean, like, the Eviolite on Gligar didn't play a big role. Like, he didn't get a chance to roost or anything like that, so I don't think... I'm assuming he was just going for damage, because the Special D on Gligar, not great, but even neutral special damage with that Eviolite is not gonna kill there, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too, yeah.
This was pretty much just... I'd call it a normal match.
Yeah, I mean... It was normal, and then, like, RNG helped a lot. Like, I know I can't hit with that many hurricanes.
No, that was definitely what I wanted to bring up next, is I believe he hit maybe only 2 hurricanes in the match, but still, that's, there was a 60% chance total for those hurricanes to miss, and they didn't. Especially when it's coming from a Moltres that presumably has specs. It did quite a bit of damage to Mantine, and Mantine's not small in special defense.
No. That was... what bird's the one that Manny said is the shitty one? Is it Articuno? Because I always thought it was Moltres, and Moltres has been putting in work.
No, Moltres at 60 points is a fucking steal, so... Of course, it's
Maybe
Kyle that's taken... I mean, Articuno does also get Hurricane, but it's got the 4x Stealth Rock. I mean, much like Moltres has a 4x Stealth Rock weakness. It's just that
Yeah.
Moltres is the one with the special attack compared to Zapdos and Articuno.
I still think Zapdos best bird.
I agree, that's why it's the most points.
Fair.
And it's not 4 times weak to rocks.
Ugh. Hurts.
I gotta say, the late game that Kyle had in this was a little bit weird, because now we were saying during the live broadcast, myself and Manny, that even though Kyle did very good team building this, because he also had 3 Pokemon that resisted Sucker Punch from Mega Mawile, and they were the last 3 mons he had alive.
But that's normal Kyle stuff. He knows... I've said this every time we talk about Kyle. Kyle puts you right where he wants you early. Very, very early.
Which is essentially what happened, because suddenly it's at 1.5 times defense, and it resists Sucker Punch, so that
things that just you wouldn't expect to happen is the only way you're going to beat him, because he knows everything. No more mistakes.
Let's go ahead and bring it on to a very exciting match, a fucking Smash Mouth match if I've ever seen one, and I'm not talking about fucking All-Star here, ladies and gentlemen. This was Drac taking on James. James getting the +1 by a sash, by a hair.
Oh, you know, just lots of things. Lots of sash in this match, actually, because, fucking Goliapede's in there doing some work, and then Session Illegal comes down and is like, no, we're gonna stop this train.
A lot of sashes this week, and a lot of Z moves going through Protect, which this was the first.
Yeah, everyone's protecting Z moves this year.
Which the first turn, obviously, it's you're taking a bit of a stab at just Araquanid hitting Vikavolt. Vikavolt's a bulky boy, as I'm sure you learned the hard way, Mike, on several occasions 2 seasons ago.
It's so hard to kill. It doesn't fucking die.
It's very difficult to Oko, I'd say, and we saw that here where you immediately lose Araquanid too, who, again, not small with special defense, so even though it's a Thunderbolt from a fucking base 145 Araquanid is not, or Vikavolt is not a good time.
No. Hindsight, maybe the Electric Berry would have been a good play there.
I don't know. Well, I mean, that requires a lot of foresight, and it's not like Vikavolt's a very common lead, I guess.
That's true. It's also James, and I was trying to tell Drac that, you can't play to James misplaying. You have to just play your game. You can't hope that James is going to fuck up.
I think that this was a lot of Drac playing his game, though. This was just kind of James getting the better of a few situations where, like we saw, he was able to come in fairly risk-free on Comfey with Scolipede and get it up to just fucking ridiculous levels, and thankfully that's why you have Sash Nihiligo there to take care of it, but that could have been a fucking terrible time.
I will say that Drac did a good job trying to plan for that, because again, that Sash Nihiligo might have made that game as close as it was, you know what I mean? Because Goliapeed was probably about to run away with that match.
No, exactly. And, after that, it's basically, they were both at, this is like turn 8 we're talking about here, and they're both down 2 Mons, with Drac having a Mon at 1%. So, again, everybody was just smacking each other in the face the entire time. Also, Mike.
Oh, man,
Did you know that Spiky Shield, the damage that Spiky Shield would normally do, does not proc on a Z move?
No, but now I know, Joe. And knowing is half the battle.
Now, does Spiky Shield's damage only work on contact moves, is the other thing, because does that mean Z moves aren't contact moves?
I don't really know. The whole Z move thing and how they work with stuff confuses me. Last week, you guys were talking about Gale Wings and Z Fly and how that doesn't work. And it's all... Z moves are weird.
Z moves, yeah, I guess... It's the plus side and the downside, because if you can't use Gale Wings, and you can't get Spiky Shield damaged. So, I don't know. Both
I wonder if Rocky Helm damage goes through then.
That's actually a good... Well, you wouldn't get... Actually, yeah, because technically if you're going through the Protect, you're technically hitting them, so maybe... I don't know. That's actually a good question. Because it's not like Rocky Helmet damage procs on a Protect.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, god damn it. Stupid Z moves.
Drac is of the thought that he could have won the battle if, instead of going for the kill, because Manny and I had assumed that that Zygarde dog was either scarfed or banded or something. It ended up being sashed. Drac thought, maybe if he hit Drain Punch there instead, get a little bit back and survive the 1,000 arrows and not be in kill range for extreme speed.
Yeah, but that's 110% hindsight, because you're looking down Zygarde 10, and you have Ice Punch, and you go, yeah, I'm clicking that.
I want to win now.
Right? You don't sit there and go, is it going to be sashed? You go, I can sneeze on this thing with an ice move, and it's going to die.
So, that's definitely a complete hindsight play, but that I very well may... I didn't run the calcs, but I very well may have done it for him. Things to think about in the future. If the sash was not seen in your match, could this thing be sashed?
I feel like, actually, sash isn't very big in our league.
No, it's one of those things where I'm not a fan of Sash because of hazards, so I only want to put a Sash on a lead most of the time. But then also, much the same way where I feel like I need a Rapid Spinner, most of the league also doesn't really deal with hazards a lot of the time.
We go so aggro all the time. Like, we're just like a bunch of dudes in high school who haven't gotten laid yet, and we're just like, ah!
So,
gotta go.
So it begs the question, then, why aren't people using Sash if everybody's aggro all the time?
I don't know, man. I fucking had to kill Tyler's... Tyler had Sashed fucking Mimikyu. I had to kill that thing 3 times. It was disgusting. I got so mad.
Let's move on here. Manny over Gage +3. At the time, while watching this battle, things did look... Maybe it's my eyes fooling me, because obviously at the end of the battle, Manny had it completely under control, but it's one of those things where early game, it's a lot of, ooh, how are you going to get past Muck? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And then the sun comes out, Venusaur comes in, and it clean sweeps.
I never thought that Venusaur, regular fucking Venusaur, would go on such a tear through this league. Like, every week. It's almost like where Kyle's putting you where he wants you. Manus is putting you to the point where he can finish you in 7 or less turns.
It becomes...
Consistently, like, you can literally see where Manus shifts gears in this match. Something dies, and he sends out Torkoal, and it's like Manus shifts into fucking 6 and just passes you. You just lose. You see it coming and you go, oh fuck, I didn't plan for this.
It's weird because it felt like a lot of history repeating itself, because we saw, I believe this was the first, I think the match against Gage was the first time he used the Sun Core, the first time, and that involved him surprising Mega Scizor with Weather Ball and Sun, making it a fire move, and the same thing happened again, so...
It was the same thing, but at the same time, like, you gotta... If you get beat once by something, I'm not one to fucking talk like a Volt, but you should probably correct the challenge.
Not only that, it was the HP Rock on Venusaur 2 to get rid of... Like, I was almost 100% certain that, speaking of Sashes, because Gage led with Volcarona, that it was going to be a Sash variant... Manny didn't put out hazards. In comes Volcarona. All right, we know the HP Rock is coming. Let's go ahead and just hit this motherfucker with a Fire Blast. Now he's got to deal with the Fire Blast in the sun, and it just didn't happen.
Maybe it was Life Orb? Who knows?
Again, it's the play of this thing gets rocked by a Sash, or this thing gets rocked by X. Let me put a Sash on there so I can at least clap back.
I love sashing things, man. When I had Flygon, I sashed that bitch all the time because all I needed was one Dragon Dance.
And really, I think that's, again, what I talked about before with Manny having the game pretty much, in his hands at the end of it. Again, when Gage still had 5 Pokemon, the sun is out. We are staring down a +2 Moxie Salamence. So, do you go into Venusaur and just start getting the kills, or do you go into Ditto and copy the...
I'm watching this game going, oh, here comes Ditto. Oh, okay, he's going to let it get another Moxie. Here comes Ditto. And then Torkoal, and I go, oh.
Ditto has become... Manny, it's a fucking nuclear warhead. Manny doesn't have to use it!
But that's also the thing with Manny, where he's building his... It's like when you play the main story games of Pokemon, and you nerf team by only running 4 or 5 Mons, you just make those 4 or 5 Mons stronger. Manus is doing that where he team builds to the point where Ditto's there as an oh shit button.
Yes, as a backup for if things start going south, which he hasn't had to use. It's a panic button that has not come out yet.
No, and you know what? Somebody's gonna be like, yes, I have him, and then Scarf Ditto's gonna come out and he's gonna be like, I'm you, and I'm faster.
And that's where hopefully there's a Sash involved, and you can just clap back on Ditto.
That, or, when you team build against Ditto, I say this all the time, don't bring a move you're weak to. Don't bring EQ on your Fire-type Pokemon if you're facing Ditto.
Or, if you have a sash, do that, and then do that to Ditto.
Ooh, I like where your head's at.
Either way, a fairly handy win for Manny. Handy Manny over here. Getting himself a good old win. Let's move on to a weirder match that took place here. Now, Drac had said this, I believe, in the general chat. I forget if it was in the Snap Lounge or the general chat, of saying that Thomas is on a heater right now. He is 3-0 after initially going 0-3, and he did topple a Garrison who seems to have been a little spooked from his loss against Manny.
Yeah, because I don't think that this match was Thomas playing great. I think this match was Gage playing bad.
Garrison, thank you.
Garrison, yeah, sorry.
So,
my bad.
I had said to you after the match happened, because your match with Tristan was going on at the exact same time, so I missed this as it was going on. But basically, Garrison made a lot of weird stays in this match, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's understandable. Empoleon, it's there to get rocks, and it's there to get the Eviolite off of P2. Job done. Taken to... and even then, the first Thunderbolt did 50 or so. So it was a roll to kill, and you're fine with that. But less smart, less good, is staying in on Z-Fly with Mega Venusaur.
Staying in on a flying tip with Mega Venusaur. Fuck even if it was Z-Fly. You know to eat that acrobatics happily. It's not fun. Like, why... Mega Venusaur is so good at being in the way. Why? Why?
And then there were a few things where I guess I can understand as well attempting to... Like, Nidoking's out against Feeney, and you just assume that this is one of those weird things where both of them assumed that they were going to scare the other out, I think. Because Garrison keeps hitting Substitute just to try to, like, think he can get him on the switch. And Thomas is like, well, fuck, Surf is super effective. Let me just hit Surf.
I don't think Thomas was like, well, fuck, Surf is super effective. I think Thomas was like, well, fuck, this thing's gonna die. It had, like, 9% HP.
That, too. I think, again, a lot of things that we're seeing is, like in the match with Manny and James as well, like, Pokemon, when they're at low health, after a certain point, you have to consider your opponent is just letting them die so they can get a clean switch.
Yeah, like, why do we have people in this league who see a Pokemon with 6% HP, and it's not, like, burned or anything, and they're like, yeah, I don't need to kill it this turn. Like, go for the damage. Even if you predict the switch, and it's like a resisted hit on the Mon currently in front of you, I promise you it's probably going to do that 6% to kill. Like, just fucking get rid of the thing in your way. He lost 50% of Nidoking's HP hitting Substitute twice.
Yes.
Just Sludge Wave. Gone.
That's all he needed to do. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.
So mad.
And this was another one as well where a Z move went through Protect, because Garrison did have Z Poison Jab on Terrakion to try to get rid of Feeney, and there's the Protect, and then it does pitiful damage.
Pitiful damage. I will say I like what Thomas did changing his team, the way he did it. I like his defensive core, looking at it with like Feeney and P2. Gross.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
That's gross. We'll see what he can do when people play right against him, but I really think Garrison was just letting him have it almost.
It seemed like almost free. Yeah, so let's see what happens. Oh, it says live stream offline. 1 sec, because I know that my shit was acting up, so let me just refresh real quick. Nope, we're still good. Okay, never mind.
That's gross.
Oh, no, stop. Alright. Next up, just in time for your match. Here, Mike, you trying to fucking turn off the stream when...
Yes. Damn it, you figured me out. I don't want to talk about it.
Tristan versus Mike. Mike, I had a discussion with Manny after your loss where it's of my mind where you came into the week with a good idea. You were going to do Calm Mind Sableye because he didn't have a fairy. You were going to do Aggron with Sleep Talk Dragon Tail because he didn't have a fairy. And Sleep Talk Dragon Tail is forward priority, so after a few curses, you're going to be faster than literally everything if you Sleep Talk Dragon Tail.
Okay. Here's the thing. And it happened to me, and I called it anyway. It just happened in a different way. I was really afraid RNG was going to fuck me this week.
That's the other thing. Now, I understand. That's the thing. Is like that's a ballsy play to go with, but you kind of ended up still keeping elements of that team. So when by the time that you finished up with the team that you had, I call it a Frankenstein team. You had just elements of a bunch of shit together, and I feel like it didn't gel as well.
Well, here's the thing. I was looking at what to bring. So I wanted to bring Curse Talk Aggron because it's large and in charge. And I wanted to bring Sableye because it's hilarious. So I brought those Sumons, and Sableye got parahaxed, and I got fucked. And it happens. It's Pokemon. I always say that's fucking how you play this game.
Yep.
And my team isn't slow, but it's not super fast. But however, Trick Room's a threat. So I didn't want to bring a lot of my Mons. I can't remember off the top of my head. But like I brought KB. It didn't. It was just a lot of bad. Lots of bad. I messed up playing real hard. Tristan's like my fucking. I remember he T-waved my whole team, and I went, cool, I'm going to be slower than him in Trick Room. And I still wasn't. And I took all my fucking IVs out, Joe. I did. I made sure to make my boys slow.
Well, guess who's got base 30 and base 20 speed and base 20 speed, respectively? 3 of the Mons that Tristan brought.
I figured T-Wave would completely even the playing field.
Well, remember that they did change the paralyze mechanic, so your speed is no longer halved.
It's thirds now. It's on me. I misplayed. Tristan played really well. I don't think there was a point where I was really out of this match until, I want to say, Vaporeon got paralyzed when I tried to scald something out of my way. It was just, paralyzed really fucked me in this match, and I did not expect it at all. I even remember talking to you going, should I bring Hugo this week? And you're like, man, he normally plays aggressive.
Yeah, that's I can take credit for that, at least with the suggestions that I made, where I was
it's not that I'm blaming you, it's just like, on it, if I brought the fucking normal, I would bring Protect to try and burn out some turns. Like, Paralyze really was what did me in the end. Because I got paralyzed trying to recover with Sableye, and the knockoff was able to kill me. Silly things like that.
Yeah, that was definitely a hindsight thing. The whole that fun shit that you were experiencing with not having Heal Bell.
I knew that RNG was going to fuck me this week. I guess I just didn't know how. It's okay. We live and we learn. Everybody else in my division lost and or didn't show up, so it's okay.
Yeah, basically you didn't end up losing too much out of it. The only thing that I want to chastise you for, and I think that this is, you're right where it wouldn't have made a huge difference, but I'm still mad that you had the audacity to say when I made the suggestion, hey, if you're going to bring Roserade and you're going to lead with it, why don't you sash it? You were like, oh no, he's not going to be able to Oko me, and then fucking staring down Mega Camerupt.
Okay, now this is also on me, because I am no Aggron because it's large, and Camerupt would stop Aggron. So I shouldn't also let something that is going to be weak to fire. I got too gung-ho and let's just set up a bunch of stuff, and should have looked at what he brought and went, what should I do?
Not only that, but you also Galvantula, a popular lead for you, so you have 3 Mons that are weak to fire as possible leads.
Exactly. So, I don't see lead Roserade. I was more of a tack on to put entry hazards in.
I'm sorry, Mike, you sound like you're a million miles away. I don't know what happened.
It's just Facebook call, whatever call we're using, just lagging.
Oh, well. Alright, well, basically, yeah, I was going to say RNG definitely fucked you in the match, overall.
It happens. That's what Pokemon is. It's RNG. If you win due to RNG, then that's what you aim to do. Good job.
Yeah, all skill.
All skill.
Next up, we got Murphy getting the +3 over Rob. Mike, I don't think Rob's going to win a match this season.
Okay, I agree with you, but like that's because he plays like a moron.
There was a big problem. Now, I know that we've talked about a few times, or me and Manny have talked about in the podcast, the philosophy of hit what's in front of you, which Rob did far too many times in this match to do negligible damage to Pokemon that he was not going to kill.
Yes.
Hitting what's in front of you is a decent idea when there maybe isn't 6 Pokemon on the other side of the field.
No, you want to do those ballsy, hey, he's going to switch here plays early. But I think Rob doesn't do that because Rob doesn't think to switch. So he's like trying to play himself, if that makes sense. So he's like, what would I do here? And Rob wouldn't switch in that situation. I know because he stayed in on switches that I thought were happening millions of times. But I think when you bring Smeargle, right, everyone fucking knows it's going to have probably 4 non-attacking moves.
Maybe foul play.
You need to be aware of what taunt is.
I was going to say that as many times as we've made fun of Murphy for switching Espeon into knockoff, he's been able to get taunts off with Electrode just as many times, which it seems like it's the most obvious thing in the world, but when you see that Electrode, I mean, to be fair, a lot of times it may just... Electrode's a good lead, just for the reason that you can taunt if there's setup in front of you, or you can Volt Switch and get out of there.
Yeah, or you can get the fuck out of there.
What I like to call what's the terminology I used for it? A scouting lead, which I think might even be...
Yeah, it's a scout.
Yeah, which I think might even... Because then you know what your opponent is starting with, and you're like, okay, cool, Smeargle, let me taunt. If he starts with Celesteela... Well, if he starts with Celesteela, then you're hitting Thunderbolt, but either way...
It's like almost the same concept where I like putting Aggron out in front. Try and kill this first, show me what you got.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And it's weird because despite all of the problems that Rob had in this match, I don't want to say that Gengar nearly won it, but Gengar did way too much work. For the +3 is almost a bit of fucking like smoke and mirrors because Gengar did a lot. At one point, this was very much looking like a +6.
Also, we weren't halfway through the season, I'm pretty sure, and Rob exhausted all of his trades and pickups. Every week he lost, he traded something out. I know that for me, week 1's normally the roughest because I have to learn my team. You're looking at Rob's original team on paper, woof. And then looking at his team now, meh.
It seems like he traded down then. He didn't...
He panic traded. He went, oh god, this didn't perform for me the way I wanted it to. I need to get rid of it, instead of going, well, how do I pair this a little better with this?
It's sometimes weird because he did start with Magearna, and Magearna is a Pokemon that we talk about, being whelmed by Mons, and I think that is basically it's kind of a backhanded compliment because it means that it's worth its points, but when you get it, you think it'll be like a cheat code, almost.
It's not that... It's like reverse whelmed. It's where you're expecting it to do so much work, and then it doesn't do that work for you because you're not putting it in the situation to let it do that work, if that makes sense.
Right. And... Well, I don't know. I don't know how to... I just don't know where the win is at this point, unfortunately, for Rob.
It's so bad because he started off so good and we all just adapted and he didn't.
Oh well. Well, let's go ahead and move on here. I just got a message from James. I said that there were no trades and pickups this week, but there were actually trades and pickups, so we'll talk about that in a second here. I forgot about it. It's just that he gave it to me on like Tuesday, or no, I'm sorry, he gave it to me on like Thursday last week. So I was like, yeah, I'll remember, and then I didn't. So finally, we got Dave getting the big +4 over Dan, who Murphy was playing for, who had a team that had many elements of, I'd say, the team that you built for me. Just something of, like, the Jirachi, first of all. That seems straight out of the I'm trying to lose this match playbook.
Oh my god. Like, okay. Doom Desire, awful idea. Ancient Power, hilarious idea. You realize, like, that's a good fucking play.
Yeah.
I agreed with that. Moonblast, okay, try to get rid of Mega Sableye, but, like, Ancient Power plus, like, Iron Head flinches is gross, Joe. That's gross.
I don't remember if he revealed the fourth move on Jirachi, because I wrote them down, and then I didn't write down the fourth move. But I'm assuming Doom Desire was something that he put in, and it was just like, ooh, let's try that.
Like, if he took out Doom Desire and rolled those punches against Chansey, I guarantee you he would have fucking RNG hacked Chansey to oblivion.
He probably would have been able to, especially after an Ancient Power boost. It would have done like maybe 30% damage, not much, but you know that adds up if there's flinches.
And doesn't Drac get Drain Punch?
I believe it does. So
to counteract the seismic, like, oh my god, such a good idea with Ancient Power, and then Doom Desire to wow.
It's definitely a shame because this match was, I said finally Chansey and Sableye working in tandem well, like what they're capable of just, you know, Sableye, it's one of these things where you telegraph knockoffs and in comes Sableye because 1, it resists, 2, it's not holding an item, and 3, it's gigantic, so it eats every single knockoff that's directed at Chansey.
But however, I'm going to go back to this. That Ancient Power Plus gives Moonblast the ability to, at the very least, 2-tap Sableye.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing, is I understand, because that's why when Sableye was in, like, when Jirachi came in on Sableye, it becomes, why is this here? And
why? Yeah, because I remember talking to you, and I was like, why?
Because it's got Moonblast, and that's why, because I thought it was going to be D-Gleam, but it actually doesn't get D-Gleam. So then in comes Entei, and now not only are you scaring out Jirachi, but you're taking negligible damage from a Moonblast.
I remember seeing Entei come out, and my asshole immediately clenched, so I was like, something's getting simplified right now.
It was Politoed in the end, because that's the thing, is like, Entei was not much of a presence because of Rain, but
yeah.
I gotta say, like, I understand what is attempting to be done when you're bringing Politoed and Manaphy, because you want the hydration plays, you want the tail glow. But
so then, instead of, like, Hitmonlee, you slide Kingdra in there, and he made a full fucking Rain team. By the way, Jirachi's other move was Rain Dance.
Oh, that's right. Like, I get it. Oh yeah, tail glow and weakness policy. That was the other thing.
Yeah, I remember that going, oh. Like, such good ideas. He made such a good Rain team.
The problem is, this works best with Z Rain Dance, because you get the speed boost with Manaphy.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. At the end of the day, you're still only base 100, and you're not faster than Scarf Rotom. No.
But at the same time, I'm going to keep going back to this, Joe. Jirachi,
well, it could have helped. I'm just mostly mad about the fact that I won a championship with Politoed and Kingdra as basically my only Rainmons, and I have yet to see a match where they, I think once, Dan brought them together.
Yeah, he brought Kritra.
Oh, no, he did bring Kritra once, but he did bring Politoed and Kingdra together just once, I believe. And
is he just, like, afraid that everybody's prepping for it? Because good. Make them afraid.
The thing is, Politoed and Kingdra don't share any weaknesses.
No. If anything, they help each other a lot. Fucking good. You just gave your opponent 100% Thunders, which Kingdra's at least going to be neutral to. Joe, why are these things happening? That match was painful to watch.
It was, but that goes with the territory with Chansey and Sableye.
Could have solved them. Could have had a V8, but you didn't.
Could have had a V8. Oh, and let's talk about now the most epic match of the weekend that didn't happen. Jack getting a much-needed +0 win over Mitch.
That is my favorite win of the week, and I am so happy it happened.
Mitch,
I love Mitch losing.
Mitch, you got 4 days. 4 days.
4 days! He has a lot of time, actually. It's not like we don't know who we're battling, you know what I mean?
4 whole days to do it, and it didn't happen. So, all right. So I wrote in my notes, and I wrote on the team thing that. Oh wait, no, I said this live. I don't know why I was talking before. Like, trades and pickups this week actually did happen. I don't have a team card ready because I didn't make it because I forgot about it. So let's just go back to the start screen here, and I'll let you know that. Let's see, where was it? I got to go back to it here. It was. No, where is it? Where are you, James? Come on. Oh, that's right. Here we are. It was Rabambi. James gets Rabambi.
Yeah.
For Lucario. Basically, he's doing a bit of trading here. Lucario going up to Rabambi, and then he's getting rid of Mega Gardevoir and bringing it down to Bisharp.
You know what? That's right, because we talked about this as it happened.
Yeah, this was these are big plays that are going on, and
I remember I got hype about Lucario, but that means I can't pick up Lucario.
Actually, did I already put this through? This says last Monday, so did I just forget that hard about this? Now I gotta look at the team cards thing. Thomas, Manny. No, I don't think I made this change. Nope, still says Mega Gardevoir. All right, well, I'll get that change going. Either way, there we go. That's the big change. I know that James probably hated Mega Guard, so I'm glad that he switched it up.
I agree. Bisharp's fun too.
Bisharp's very fun. I'm sad that it wasn't taken. That's a mon that I considered getting like first or second with my first or second pick.
He's getting a lot of dark types though. Now that I'm thinking about it.
He'll find a way around it. He always does.
That's true.
Let's take a look at the standings here. So, not a lot of changes, really. It's weird because there were a lot of people who you wouldn't expect to winning this week, and almost nothing changed position-wise. Garrison's loss still has him up top, but suddenly, when he was 3 games up on Murphy, I believe, that has been erased at this point, so Murphy can get ahead of Garrison with a win. Murphy's win.
Thomas can too.
Thomas too. Murphy's big win, boxing out Thomas too, because now suddenly everything's a lot closer there. I thought Thomas was going to slip ahead this week, but unfortunately not the case. Rob's sitting at 0-6. I believe he's mathematically eliminated at this point, so no need to talk about playoffs with him. Your division, Snap, indeed. Drac lost, you lost, Mitch lost. Jack getting to 2-4 could help him. He could end 5-4. He could finish strong. We don't know, but
he wins out. Yeah.
I always say never say never. I think that even 4-5 got in last season. It's a bit too competitive for that this time, but how do you feel that Drac was one of the first losses of the week, which gave you the opportunity to get ahead, and then you lost, and then Mitch had the opportunity to get ahead, and then he lost.
So, most of the season I spent really not caring because I was looking at Yellow going, wow, all their records suck.
Now you gotta light a fire under your ass because it's very... Again, like, Thomas is technically behind you now, so if you lose and Thomas wins, Thomas can jump ahead of you.
Yeah, he could, especially because my plus is not good. I'm averaging +2 per win. That's not...
Actually, if all of Snap does badly... because that's obviously somebody needs to win the division, but even if
it can flip the other way where 3 Troze get in 1 snap.
Right, exactly, which you do not want to happen.
No, I mean it's still got a lot of games left. I still can take bottom place. It's probably going to happen. I'm not very good in my rematches.
A lot can change in 3 games.
Yeah.
Manny, of course, still sitting up top with the worst. Manny has 2 wins on all of his other leaders, and still has the lowest plus.
Wins are what matter, man. You can win every game.
You're right. But talk about averaging +2. Manny's averaging +2 with his wins.
But he's also winning every game.
Right, exactly. That's why I forget what season it was where I ended up with the best record of I think it was the season that we did 11 things where I was 9-2, but my plus was 13.
That was such a long season.
It was. I'm glad we changed it.
Oh God.
Tristan now 5-1. That's it. Manny literally cannot stop winning. He has to win because as soon as he loses, Tristan jumps ahead of him.
Exactly. He needed me to beat Tristan this week, and that's what you get.
It doesn't it doesn't look good for James. We did say last week, another never say never situation in terms of trying to get ahead. At 2-4 plus 5, it's going to be tough. But as we look at Stadium, M1 still very much in the game, possibly getting ahead of Kyle. Kyle only at plus 13, 4-2. So I believe that M1 doesn't have to face Kyle anymore. So now, traditionally, I think he already faced Dave too. So he might have 2 Conference Cup matches coming up, which could definitely be game changers. And yeah, I think Dan was I think it's 2 Conference Cup matches in Dan. So M1 has a very real possibility of jumping ahead.
He could. I mean, even if he won this week, he was in first place.
Yeah. So
everybody is still really close, except for the Coliseum, where they're not close at all. They're not fucking close at all.
Yeah, where it's probably. We're looking at James could make a late run to get that 3rd position possibly, but the playoffs are definitely. I would not count James out at all, but he does have to face Manny again. And I can't even say that he has the free win division because these are all normally competent battlers. But god damn it, man! All right. So this is the thing: is Manny specifically wanted a division where the wins would not be free, so he got James and surprisingly competent Tristan this season. And but however, you do always have the option B, the second road of Manny has 2 mons that we dropped down 40 points this season.
Okay, but if you look at it his plus and his wins, getting a +2 every match isn't a free win.
No, you're right.
Because I agreed with you that this week things weren't looking good for Manus, and then he shifted gears and you lost. This is how it just happened.
It's just how it happens.
It's crazy right now.
And speaking of things just happening, this is bad news for Snap here. Let's go right to the Conference Cup date. Snap lost both of its Conference Cup matches. Coliseum is now tied, both at 15. And Snap, you guys do not have battles until the last week of the Conference Cup, which is week 9. I believe there's 4 I believe all 4 of you are battling in the Conference Cup that week. Let me check.
No, I'm done with Conference Cup. I battle in Division for the rest of the season, I'm pretty sure.
Well, so you guys really got it. It's all on Jack and Mitch to have you guys win.
So it's all on Jack. Mitch doesn't even show up.
So Coliseum could get the sneaky win here. I wouldn't even count out Troze because they actually have 4 battlers in week 9. Same thing with Stadium. So depending on, they might end up just beating up on each other the entire time and allowing Coliseum to just walk right in. But
yeah,
there's always, you never know. It still could be close. A +6 changes everything.
Still very close. I like it. I don't like. I like how he got rid of all the free win people. They're all kind of gone. I like how close this league has become. You have to actually try, and that's another reason Rob can't win.
And that's the other thing, where Rob is still making his team 20 minutes before a battle, which is not how you do it.
No, and he's only taken 10 minutes to do it.
Yeah, that's. I understand it's the same kind of principle of you have an idea and you run with it, but not a lot. I remember Rob was fucking carrying a notebook around with the shit that he wanted to do at one time. Does he still do that?
Yeah, but he was doing it just so that he could build his team on the computer at Mario's. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that now he just does it on his phone. But I don't really know. I don't know. Rob is an enigma, man.
Well, let's take a look at week 8 here then. The battles of week 8. Let's talk about the commish picks here. You're free to make picks if you want, Mike, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, you can make him in place of Manny, who has not picked yet, because I asked him and he didn't tell me. So, first up, we got Dan versus Kyle, the battle of the recent champions. I believe that we are definitely in no more mistakes mode with Kyle. I think that if Dan maybe brought, Kingdra and Polytoad, he might do a bit better, but I gotta go with Kyle on this one.
Shit. It's close, because, Dan has a really good team, and Jirachi can shut down what makes Kyle's team so good. You know what? I'm picking Dan. I'm taking the underdog.
All
taking
right.
Dan.
I like it. And Mario chose Kyle as well. Next up, we've got James versus Manny, which I believe is what in my eyes would be a storied rivalry, but I believe that Manny has won most, if not 75% of the encounters with James. But I said I'd pick against Manny 3 times this season. This is my last chance to do that. I probably should save it for his match against Tristan, but I am choosing James to win this battle.
I think Manus is going to do it. James is busy hiking mountains and doing things that matter, whereas Manus is playing Pokemon.
And Mario chose Manny as well. Next we got Drac and Jack. The old Drac Jack. I'm taking Drac and Jackster over here. I'm taking...
Jack and Draxter, yes.
And I'm taking Drac.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take Drac. They're both new to the league, but Drac seems to have picked up on this shit quick. Much quicker than Jack.
You lost to Mitch last time, didn't you?
No, I beat Mitch.
Oh, okay, you did. When did you... It must have been last season then that you lost. Either way. I'm going with you.
I'm gonna have to pick myself too, because... Sorry, guys, I have to pick Drac.
And Mario has chosen Drac as well, so that is a sweep. We're sweeping it. Next up, we've got Mike taking on Mitch. I know that bad things happen when all of us pick you, Mike, but...
Now that he's done with Craps class, he's on his own, and Mitch can't function on his own. At all.
Mario has taken you as well, so that is another sweep.
Nice. Sweep it up.
Next, we've got the rematch of Murphy versus Garrison. Garrison could be on a bit of a slide here. He's usually a bit better than that. I'm going to say that I'm going to go with Garrison. I think that he is going to get ahead of Murphy on this one.
I agree. Garrison kind of slipped the last few weeks, and I don't think it's going to happen again. I think he's going to go back to winning.
And Mario chose Murphy, so it could very well be Murphy taking the division. However, until we get to the next match here, a rematch. Can you believe the first time that these two competitors met, they were both 0-3?
I'm sorry, is Thomas and Rob happening again?
Thomas versus Rob is happening again, and Thomas has, all he does is win. He has done nothing but win since their first encounter.
Yeah, but that's also because Rob lost. And I don't mean that in, no shit, Rob lost. But I mean that in the sense where, no, Rob lost.
So, yeah, I gotta go with Thomas on this one. This could very well be the week that Thomas takes the division, even.
Yeah, I don't think Rob has it in him to win anymore, especially that Thomas changed his team out a lot. Fucking Tapu Fini and Porygon 2, man. Get around them without losing half your team.
And Mario has taken Thomas as well, so that's a sweep. That's a sweep.
Wow, me and Mario both picked Thomas? This is a lot of pressure for Thomas. We always watch him lose.
Next we've got here Dave taking on Tristan. This is going to be a battle of Trick Room versus Stall. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to make a bold pick here. I'm going to say we finally see some cracks in Tristan's armor. I'm going to go Dave +3 on this one.
No, I think Tristan just keeps going. I feel like he's going to just be able to get around Chansey, because his team is large, but they also all do a lot of damage.
Now here's the thing, because you might say you see a Conkeldurr on Tristan's team. How is that not an easy and disable eye almost every time? Now, again, he can't be Willowed because of Guts, and Guts seems to be the conk of choice. I don't think he's used the Iron Fist variant.
Not at all.
But, you might see possibly a bulk up on a switch too, so you gotta be careful of that.
And it shuts down Chansey too. Gets knockoff, so you can't I think Conkeldurr not only will be the win con, but I think Tristan's just gonna blow Dave to pieces.
Mario chose Tristan +3, so there we go. And finally, we have M1 taking on Gage here. Gage's I always find that Gage is good for a sneaky win in the league. I only say that because in the 2 seasons that I believe we were both in a division together, he did beat me at least once both seasons. I am going to take M1 though. I'm going to take M1 +2.
Yeah, I'm gonna take M1 with a nice little +3. He's been doing well this season. I like it because last season wasn't so good. He's going like every other season.
Go like the off and on. So he's turned it back on this season.
Yeah.
Mario has chosen M1 +2 as well. So, speaking of, that actually makes for a pretty smooth transition here, Mike. We're going to talk about real quick M1's 700 Club team, because he is the person that has taken over the 700 Club for the week. We will be facing Murphy, I believe. There haven't been too many changes. Primal Groudon has been switched out for Mega Mewtwo X, so...
Is that the fighting one?
That is the fighting one, yes.
Oh, God.
Everything's pretty much the same. We do have a few things have changed. I see a Ferroseed in here now. A Jinx, I believe, Leafeon. No, Dusclops is still there. Togedemaru got switched out for Gourgeist. Ferroseed is there instead of what I said before.
Yeah.
And Jinx is there instead of something else. So, not too many changes. You still could see a weird Barrel play. You still could see Sleep Talk Circle Throw on Throw. I feel like the big difference here, hopefully the big difference here, is I think that James did better with Primal Groudon, but he also switched it in on something instead of letting it come in naturally, which I think may be a big problem with a lot of these. And keep in mind, as well, Masquerain. You leave Masquerain, you use those webs. Mega Mewtwo X does have a base speed of 130, so even after... So, even after a... even if you bring a Scarf something, it's gotta be faster than 130.
That's so fast. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, let's all look forward to that. And I think then, with that here, Mike, do you have any closing thoughts, possibly?
Keep up the good work. Mike, stop misplaying like a retard.
No, I agree. Stop misplaying. Stop it.
Yeah, really, though. Just play back. Do stuff.
Do stuff. I agree. So I think then I agree with every sentiment there. Just do stuff. Don't misplay. We can close the book on this week here. We can turn the page, as it were. Mike, going into week 8. This is the last week for trades and pickups. This is a week where playoff picture becomes a bit more clear depending on wins and losses. We're going into what I assume to be, Mike, could week 8 be the most important week of the season?
Joe, with all the stuff on the line here, all the divisions are so close, just one simple win could let you take away the division. It's the last week of trades and pickups. You can see some people completely switch their whole team to throw off the rest of their matches. Joe, I think it's the most important week of the season. I think you're right.
Damn right. Damn right. Damn right. And with that, I think we will end it here. So, for Inside the PFL, I am Joe.
And I'm Mike.
And everyone out there, enjoy your Pokemon battles and have fun.
Have fun.